The United States has urged India and Pakistan to work together and de-escalate tensions following the deadly militant attack in Indian-administered Kashmir last week. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio held separate talks with India's Foreign Minister and Pakistan's Prime Minister yesterday and called on them to maintain peace and security in South Asia. India accuses Pakistan of supporting militants behind the April the 22nd attack in Pahalgam. Islamabad rejects these allegations. Earlier today, I spoke with the former spokesperson to the Prime Minister of Pakistan about the rising tensions. Former spokesperson to the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Musadik Malik, thank you so much for joining me. Great to have you on the show. Pakistan's defence and former foreign minister have both warned of the potential of an all-out war between India and Pakistan. What is the risk level currently?
I think it all depends upon India. Because right now, the aggressor is India. All of this warmongering or war conversation that is taking place, it's primarily coming from India. So it depends upon India. All Pakistan is saying is that it's ready. Has never been our preference. War is not our preference. We want to sort out things in a civilized manner, but that should not be construed or seen as any weakness. And I think that's what you're hearing from Pakistan right now.
The US is urging India and Pakistan to work together to de-escalate tensions in the region. What steps are Pakistan taking to implement this?
Well, I think the unilateralism is coming from India. So if you look at the suspension of treaty, the Indus Water Treaty, that has not come about because our dialogue broke. It came about because of unilateralism. So right now, as I said earlier, most of the provocation, all of the provocation is coming from India, and Pakistan is responding simply in equal proportions as a dignified nation.
As you've said to me, India is the aggressor. India is accusing Pakistan of supporting militants behind the attack in April, which did kill 26 people. Islamabad has denied involvement. But what evidence does Pakistan have that it is not involved in this?
Look, if the act of aggression took place on the Indian soil, and the allegation is also coming from India, then isn't the onus of responsibility on India that it lays out all the trail of evidence or the proof that Pakistan is behind any of these actions? I mean, Pakistan gets hit every day. If you look at the situation in Pakistan, we are facing the brunt of terrorism. Every day, 10 of our soldiers and about 30 civilians die because of these acts of terror. And you have heard many a times that even from within Pakistan, many people point fingers to the neighboring countries. But we've never done warmongering. We always try to make sure that our defense and our security apparatus is in place to protect our people. But in any of these events, we can pick up any of these events and we can start to do warmongering, but then it would be irresponsible. So if India had an event, and India is putting these allegations, I'm sure they have a trail of evidence. And I think they should put forth that trail of evidence in front of all the journalists, the international community. And if they want, they can share it with Pakistan as well. Pakistan is open. But not giving any evidence, and just because there's been an aggressive incident in India, blaming Pakistan without any proof, without any evidence, and then doing warmongering, I think is irresponsible.
There are concerns the local economy is going to suffer. How deadly is this for people who do live in the region, as people feel unsure about visiting because of the security concerns?
I think wars by definition are deadly. So how deadly is it? It depends how bad a war it becomes. So I think before getting in on climbing this ladder of inference or ladder of aggression, it would be prudent to sit and talk. And as I offered, and I said, if there is any proof, would like to see that proof, but without proof, kind of doing this warmongering, I think is very irresponsible.
India
and
has
on Pakistani side, when you say, well, you produce a proof, we produce a proof of what? They haven't produced anyone. They haven't said, here is a person, this person is responsible, and this person has relationships with Pakistan. So come forth with evidence that Pakistan has nothing to do with this person. So many days have gone by. Have you heard, have they identified, have they gotten a hold of the perpetrators? Have they created any linkage with Pakistan? Is there any evidence on the table that I should respond to? In the absence of all of that, if there is some phantom person, some phantom organization, which is being alleged to be behind this act, what proof can I bring to the fore? If you have any specific questions, I'm willing to answer.
Well, let's just move on, because India has announced it's closed its airspace to Pakistan aircraft. What impact will this have?
Not material. I think it's unfortunate. We have closed our airspace to them. They have closed their airspace to us. They are the ones who are basically doing unilateralism. As I said, we are primarily an agrarian economy. We have 240 million people, of whom about half are involved in agriculture. So any country that threatens another country with shutting down its lifeline is playing with fire.
Let's talk about India suspending the water treaty. Officials in Islamabad have described this as an act of war. Can you explain to me why?
I've just explained it to you, that if there is no water, there is no agriculture. If there's no agriculture, there are issues of food security. And if there are issues of food security, what would Pakistan do? So I think this entire thing that will shut down your water is tantamount to war provocation. And I think responsible countries don't do that, and India shouldn't do it. I mean, India is not the place where this water originates. Water originates up there in China. What if tomorrow China turns around and says, we're going to shut down your water? What would India do? How would India behave? I'm not saying China would say that, but to whom does the water belong? Is water the source? Is water the river? Is water the basin? Or is water a civilization? And if you look at the history of water, you would find out that water is civilization. So as water flows, civilizations flow. And therefore, upper riparian countries have never basically come down to taking the position that India has taken. And India is also downstream, as I said, from another country, which can also shut its water. And then what would happen? Then India won't have water. So therefore, I think this is a very bizarre framework where you say, I would shut down air for you, I would shut down water for you, I would shut down soil for you. These natural assets don't belong to a particular country. And therefore, whoever wants to take position should take position with great caution and responsibility, and India is doing neither.
What resolution does Pakistan want to see going forward?
I think India is the one that unilaterally went up the ladder of escalation. So the responsibility primarily is on India to come down the ladder of escalation. From Pakistani perspective, we were, as I was the water minister before, and we were always open to having a dialogue with India. We were in communications with India, and India was not coming to the table in accordance with the treaty. So it is quite bizarre, because if you look at the past couple of years, you would see that India was continuously violating the Indus Water Treaty. And all of those mandatory kind of dialogues that have to take place, India was not coming to already. Before this particular incident, India was not coming to the table to have that dialogue. So there was something about the treaty which had nothing to do with this particular thing that has happened. And therefore, when you look at it and say they were already not coming to the table, they were already not carrying out the dialogue which was mandatory and required by the treaty, and now they've picked up something which has happened as a consequence of what they're doing to their own people. So if you look at the aggressive stance that India has taken on minorities, particularly Muslim minorities, and specifically in Kashmir, you would begin to see why their people are retaliating against the government. Now, if you use that provocation, you come down hard on your minorities, Muslim minorities, Kashmiri minorities, and some faction of a group retaliates, an Indian group on Indian soil to Indian people. You hold Pakistan responsible and suspend the water treaty. To us, it's bizarre.
Former spokesperson to the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Musadik Malik, thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.